If you want to promote, I like the idea. If you want to promote NXT and 205 Live, you have the first hour of Raw be solely towards them. Have an NXT promo match here and there. Maybe have 205 matches and do that kind of talking smack, bring it to the table thing in between. I like that idea. I think it's a really good idea. Whether it be does it in the future, they have different creative minds than we do. I think I have one more tweet here from somebody. Yes, who trans Superman? But it's mostly just sad. The wrong woman had to drop her title. Yeah, I agree. But I do agree that both of them should have dropped it this week. Naomi didn't deserve to drop it, but injury is another story, and if she has to drop it, she had to drop it. I know it sucks that she had to because all of a sudden they bring back the 30-day rule, and it's unfortunate because who the hell actually remembered that before they mentioned it last week on Smackdown. So, anyways, let's get into my thoughts and what I think should be done to change Monday Night Raw. So start off with the runtime. It needs to go from 3 hours to 2 hours. Less commercials and filler. This would be better for the product when it's 2 hours long. I think that won't happen, though, until the current contract for the 3-hour show is over, which is sometime in 2019. So we're stuck with 3 hours till 2019, ladies and gentlemen. So just bear with it. I would only give TV time to to things that actually would want the fans to see, if I can word that right. And give it to talent that are actually being pushed properly. If there's nothing for you, don't be showing on the 2 hours. Go into superstars or main event and have a kind of a side match there. You might need to trim the roster a little bit. Maybe send some people down to NXT for some revamping. So, that's what my idea would be from 3 to 2 hours. Another thing you need to change about Monday Night Raw is the women's division. It needs a complete overhaul. It needs to be completely revamped. You need some sort of actual creative direction because there's absolutely none right now. Like, absolutely none. The women's division on Raw is worse than the Divas division in 2010 during the PG era. It's getting to that level. The women just sound like robots reading cue cards out there. They're not given enough direction with their storylines. So, you know what? I think they need to be let loose and a little bit of creative freedom when it comes to their scripts. You need some more women, obviously. I hear they're talking to Victoria. I think Victoria would be a good boost for that Raw division. You can bring up Liv Morgan and Peyton Royce. I see them being more Raw-type divas or women. I think they would do good in that division as well. And no more, most importantly, no more hot potato belt. Stop that. That's got to stop. It's losing credentials. And it's losing credibility of that title, man. It's just terrible. You debuted it last year, and you're already ruining it. So it needs to get, stop being changed hands every other week. Stop with the Charlotte losing on Raw and only at pay-per-views. I really don't get that. You can't make her look dominant. And they try to perceive her as this dominant force in pay-per-views when she loses every single Raw match. Doesn't make any sense. Turn Sasha heel. That's another thing. They need to turn Sasha Banks heel. She's a better heel than the face. She's terrible as a face. I don't like her as a face. I don't think Corporate Cappy loves her as a face either. He loves her more as a heel. And he's the biggest Sasha Banks fan I know. So, no more Nia Jax jobber matches or any kind of diva jobber matches. They really make no sense. They don't make her look dominant. It just makes her look really useless. If you're going to make her look dominant, have her squash main roster people. Have her go through the roster. You can't just have local jobbers. No one gives a shit. Like, literally, no one cares. Dana Brooke sent down to the Performance Center or something, man. She botches way, way too much. Look what she did this week. She barely ran to the ring. Like she's really bad, man. I don't know what to do with Dana Botch. I thought she was going to be better than this when she debuted in WWE, so we'll see what we do with her. But I will put her in the Performance Center. That's just me. And you need more than one feud. Sorry, one feud. They need more than that. SmackDown's got 3. Raw's only got 1. You need more feuds. Branch out. Make the division watchable. So that's what I do for the women's division for Raw. Another thing I would change is Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn. They need to step back a bit, man. I don't think they know what makes a good product anymore. They're so stuck in the past, especially Vince. He loves his part-timers. He needs to get over that hump. Maybe let the SmackDown creative team take control a little bit, man, because they seem to be doing wonders over there. Raw is just so bland, it's boring, it makes you fall asleep in the middle of the show or even at the beginning of the show. They only focus on Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman all goddamn show. I'm pretty sure there's more than 2 people on the roster. Triple H would be good for taking over. I agree with all you got out there that said that. It would be a blessing for him to take over Raw. The stuff he's done with NXT is just insane. So Triple H taking over would be a huge benefit for Monday Night Raw. I definitely agree with all out there, and I think so as well. Moving on. Another thing I changed about Raw, let's go through some trades here. So I got 6 trades here that I would do, and I'll explain each one of them. First one, Sami Zayn for The Miz. I think Sami Zayn would benefit more on SmackDown. Looks like he'd have more creative control over there and a better direction into a feud. He's got nothing on Raw. He just keeps getting buried. So Sami Zayn for Miz would make sense. Miz coming over to Raw. He can feud for the United States Championship somehow or put him into that. I don't know what else you do with him, but I don't know. I think Miz is just more of a Raw superstar in my books. Another trade I would send Rusev over to SmackDown for Dolph Ziggler. I think Rusev could be a really good SmackDown superstar, really dominant force over there. Like, what is he doing on Raw? He's teaming with Jinder Mahal and doing this stupid, handsome Rusev gimmick. Literally, it's funny. Stuff he says, it's funny. And, you can't get enough of Lana. You can't make fun of Lana. But, like, Rusev needs some more creative direction because right now he's got nothing. He's got no feuds. I think he would benefit for something good on SmackDown. Another trade I would do, and it doesn't make sense because it would never happen, but I would trade Brock Lesnar for Kalisto. So I put Kalisto on Raw to bring the Lucha Dragons back, team up with Sin Cara, and that way you have another good tag team for that tag team division that needs some a boost. Basically needs a boost on Raw. Brock Lesnar over to SmackDown, you can make him a top superstar there and a top dominant force on SmackDown, and you can really put over a lot of talent up there. Or on SmackDown. So Brock Lesnar on SmackDown would be a pretty good story. Even him returning to SmackDown where he started out. So the club for the Ascension, I think you can bring the club over to SmackDown, get the club back together with AJ Styles again and be a dominant force over there. I think the Ascension could benefit from coming to Raw too if they do it the right way. I think they should bring them over to Raw and make them look dominant, challenge for the titles. Ascension versus Cesaro and Sheamus would be a pretty good feud in my books. I think they can do a lot with that. You just need to put more creative planning with the Ascension, and I think they could be a dominant force in the tag team division, especially on Raws. A women's trade I would do is I would trade Sasha Banks for Nikki Bella. I know Nikki Bella and John Cena want to be together in the same show, but this would just benefit the women's division. Sasha Banks could be a huge boost over to the SmackDown women's division, and an Alexa Bliss for Sasha feud would be amazing and the best thing for SmackDown since the brand split. Nikki Bella on Raw could be pretty good. You can have a Nikki Bella and Charlotte feud. That'd be pretty good. I'd love to see that. So yeah, that'd be a good women's trade in my books. And lastly but not least, I would trade Finn Balor for Dean Ambrose. I think Finn Balor would be a great add to SmackDown. And, you can do something with the club again. Or you can have Finn Balor go revolt against the club and have 2 members of his own over there. Who knows? But I like Finn Balor going over to SmackDown. And Dean Ambrose coming over to Raw and maybe doing a Shield reunion. Something to do with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns right now. Man, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. They got that whole NXT invasion thing going on. And what better way than to reform the Shield? They're all babyface right now. So that'd be the last trade. And those are all the trades I would do in my books to fix Raw. Cruiserweights need to get off of Raw, in my opinion. They don't be on Raw anymore. They're completely useless. I don't find them useful at all for Monday Night Raw. They don't promote 205 Live whatsoever. They're just useless. No one cares about them on Raw. They just need to get off. They need to have their own show. I'm thinking on Wednesdays before NXT. You get more network subs that way because both shows are network exclusives. And that way, you have a third day of the week of wrestling, and Wednesdays would be definitely my favorite in my books because then I get to watch 205 Live followed by NXT, and then you can do all the tapings together. So I think that would do wonders for the 205 Live division and have its own show and Full Sail University would be awesome because I think they definitely benefit from the crowd there, and it's a better way to get people over. Because some crowds they go to when they're on Raw or on SmackDown, some crowds are just asleep or they just don't know or don't care. They do nothing for Raw. They're just used as filler. They only get up to 10 minutes or less in total a night on a 3-hour show. So, again, they're just completely useless on Monday Night Raw. Last but not least, okay, stop looking like a complete clusterfuck and dumpster fire Monday Night Raw. Some nights, I swear to God, it's like they take their program list, cut it into pieces, and then throw it into a hat, and whatever falls first is what they put out there. Because sometimes it doesn't make sense. There's no direction in anything. SmackDown is just more fluid, and it has a better flow to it. I think they need to go in that direction that SmackDown has. I know it's hard when SmackDown's only a 2-hour show, but it just looks clusterfuck some weeks for Monday Night Raw. And you got to stop making it look being bad because it's pissing a lot of people off, and it's getting unwatchable to a point. So those are my ideas and my things that I would do to change Monday Night Raw. And thank you for your responses out there, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate them. And you guys have a lot of good ideas. I like them. So we'll move on to the last part of the Sunday Night Heat. We'll talk about Bray Wyatt and WrestleMania 33. So far we know Orton's going to give up his spot. So quote unquote, give up his spot to either Harper or Styles. And looking like most likely Harper this coming Tuesday on SmackDown in the number 1 contenders match. Current plans right now are for Wyatt to drop the monster heel gimmick. Okay, not his gimmick, but just drop the monster heel act and become a full babyface. According to reports, WWE is making the WWE picture at WrestleMania very uncertain on purpose. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And according to other reports, plans are for a double turn to happen between Bray Wyatt and Orton, which would make Orton a full heel and Bray Wyatt a full face. There's also reports that a Wyatt family reunion could happen with Eric Rowan almost ready to come back from injury from the Performance Center. So we might see a Wyatt family reunion. That'd be interesting. Reports are saying that Wyatt could not change his style and just continue to do it, challenging heels instead. So he won't change his gimmick. He'll change his he's a face now, and he'll just challenge the heels instead of challenging the faces, if you guys know what I mean. So I like that idea. Jim Ross, not Jim Roth, Jim Ross, good old JR, believes that this is a strategic move by the WWE and loves it, and thinks that Bray could be one of the greats when the time comes, so in the future. It gives Bray some high praises. So that's good for your JR to give high praises to a guy like that. And he deserves it. Bray Wyatt is definitely in the works to being something great. I think it'd be unreal. Bray turning face could send him into the next level. That'd be interesting to see what he does as a face. He's getting a huge reaction now as a champion. And this could be the opportunity that WWE has been looking for making him the next face of fear. If this happens and he gets more of a reaction, he continues to be champion after WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt, this could have sent him into the face of fear, what they were trying to do. WWE was trying to make him the face of fear when they first debuted the Bray Wyatt gimmick. So I think this would be a good idea, and I like the direction this is going to. Orton going heel, though, I'm not sure if it's going to last. The crowd, he's more of a tweener because the crowd really, when he's heel, they want to be face. And when he's face, they want to be heel. The guy just gets a reaction, opposite reaction no matter what. So it's going to be interesting to see how long of a heel, if he does go heel, and how long he will last. Other than that, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, guys. I'm really, really, really excited to see what happens with the whole Bray Wyatt and Orton.